Small law firm owner. There's one singular thing that you control and that you do that will determine the quality of your legal reputation and whether folks want to hire you or not. Hello, my name's Patrick Slaughter. When I was building my firm, I desperately wanted to make more than $1 million a year. I only wanted to work 4 days a week. I wanted to live in Florida where it was warm as opposed to Tennessee where it was cold during the winter. And I had all kinds of things I wanted to do, but I had no idea how to do it. So I was reading like crazy. I was reading a book by Tony Robbins. And in that book, Mr. Robbins says the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions you ask yourself. I started thinking about that and I started asking myself all kinds of questions. One of those was, how can I improve my legal reputation? My reputation in the bar, my reputation in the community. What can I do to elevate my legal reputation? And I stumbled on something. I discovered that case selection had a lot to do with how good of a lawyer I ended up being in the long run. Let me explain. I discovered that when I worked for reasonable people who could afford to pay me and expected or sought reasonable relief for their case, that when I was in front of the judge, I was more respected. I was treated better. When I worked for crazy people who barely could afford to pay me or couldn't afford to pay me and wanted something crazy and I was stupid enough to go up and try to ask to get it, the judges didn't look at me with the same level of respect. And other lawyers tended to look down their nose at me. So I figured out that if I represent more of the good people and none of the bad people, suddenly people thought I was a better lawyer. I won a whole lot more. Judges took me a lot more seriously. And suddenly I was attracting the type of client that I wanted to work with in the first place. So my question for you is, what can you do about the type of cases you take? What criteria can you use to evaluate whether you should take a case in the first place? And just as importantly, what kind of red flags can you identify of cases you need to stay the heck away from? What can you do in regards to case selection that will positively impact not only your ability to practice law, but the way you're perceived in your legal community? I'd sure like to hear your answers. You can put them in the comments below or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you.